Hello world, Krista here with Books and Jams, and today I officially have my largest book haul of the year to share with you. One of the joys of moving to a new place is exploring all the new thrift stores and used book sales, and since I moved from an apartment into a house, I have a lot of room that I've needed to fill up, and so I've been going to Salvation Army and Goodwill and other thrift stores quite a bit, and of course I have to check out the books while I'm there. So I have a lot of books to show you, almost 40, which means that I'm not going to be taking a lot of time with each one, which is good because with some of them I don't know anything about them. I've kind of separated them into a few different piles, and I'm going to start with the books that I was sent this month. To start it off, I'm going to share with you the two books that I chose from Book of the Month Club. I'm sure that you are all familiar with Book of the Month Club, but just in case, it's a subscription box that costs between $9 and $11 or so per month, and you get to choose the book. There are 5 judges, and each of the 5 judges picks a book, and I picked 2 this month. So I chose Sourdough by Sloane. This is about a woman who works at a robotics company. I don't know if she loses her job or she befriends these 2 bakers nearby. They leave her a sourdough starter when they move on. So I don't know if she loses her job or not, but she begins to bake bread. And so this is about baking and friendships, and it sounded like a good one to me. The other pick that I chose from Book of the Month Club is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. She also wrote Everything I Never Told You, which I have heard so much praise about. I haven't read it myself, but when I saw that this was one of the options for the month, I thought I would give it a try and see if I like it as much as everyone else liked her first one. We'll see. I was also sent a novella by Jennifer LeBlanc. It's called The Tribulations of August Barton, and I've seen a few other people on BookTube talk about this book, so I'm looking forward to reading it and telling you all about it. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending this to me. The final book that was sent to me this month is one that I'm super excited about. This is from my fiction guild that I'm a part of with Thomas Nelson, HarperCollins Christian Publishing, and it is the sequel to Unblemished, which is written by Sarah Ella, who was a booktuber. I'm really excited that this was sent to me as my Fiction Guild pick for this month. Yay! I have 4 nonfiction books that I picked up this month. One of them I'm actually just borrowing from a cousin of mine in Pennsylvania, and it's Stephen Curtis Chapman, Between Heaven and the Real World. It's his story. And I read the book Choosing to See, which is written by his wife. Stephen Curtis Chapman is a Christian artist, a singer, songwriter, and he has been around for quite a long time, since I was very young. A few years ago, their family experienced a huge tragedy when one of their adopted daughters was accidentally hit by a car from one of their older teenage sons, which is just, I can't even fathom the depth of that kind of grief for everyone involved. So Choosing to See, which is the book his wife wrote, was more about just that specific incident and walking through the grief of that. This one, I believe, is a little bit more comprehensive of his whole story. So I heard that it was good. My cousin recommended it, and she let me borrow her book. I grabbed The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines. The only book I paid full price for this month, well, not even full price because it was from Target, Of Mess and Moxie by Jen Hatmaker. She is a Christian speaker, blogger. She's been on HGTV with a show. She and her husband pastor a church in Austen, Texas, and I love her voice in her writing. I've read 2 other books by her. She's super hilarious, and I always feel like I'm sitting down with a friend when I read her books. So when she wrote a new one, I knew I was going to get it. The 4th nonfiction that I picked up at a thrift store is called Heartbreak No One Sees by Sheila Walsh. And this is about Christ's promise of healing for a woman's wounded heart. This spoke to me when I read the back of it. I never thought that I'd be single in my 40s. That is not the plan that I would have picked for my life, but that's just how things have worked out. So there are a lot of days where I deal with a lot of loneliness and sadness and grief for the life that I thought I would be living at this point. So this book really spoke to me, and I think that it will be one that will continue to speak to me as I read through it. I'm going to start a pile right next to me. See if it gets high enough. The next few books I have are ones that I already own something else by this author or authors that I'm very familiar with. The first one is A Sparrow in Terezin by Christy Cambron, and this is a hidden masterpiece novel. She wrote The Butterfly and the Violin, which is one of my favorite World War II historical fiction Christian books. So when I saw this, there was another one in that same series, was excited to pick it up. Lisa C., who wrote Snowflower and the Secret Fan and Shanghai Girls. I own a couple of her books already, and this one is Dreams of Joy. I believe this one has some of the same characters from Shanghai Girls. I don't know that it's a sequel. It might be a companion novel. We shall see. I'm slowly gathering Sarah Dessen books. I know that they're silly and fluffy, and I probably won't keep them on my shelf forever, but I don't yet have Along for the Ride, and now I do. One of my favorite children's authors is Kate DiCamillo, and I got 2 of her books, The Magician's Elephant and Flora in Ulysses. She's the one who wrote The Tale of Despereaux, and most recently I read The Adventures of Edward Tulane, and I just think that she's a fantastic children's book author, so when I saw these 2 at a thrift store, I grabbed them. I've already read this one, The Fortune Hunter by Daisy Goodwin. However, I don't own it and I don't remember it, so it's one that I may reread someday, and it was only $3.40. $3.40 from this used bookstore that I found very close to my house, which I'm very excited about. Another book for my Jane Austen section of my bookshelf is called Just Jane, a novel of Jane Austen's life, and this is by Nancy Moser. So this is a historical fiction about the actual life of Jane Austen. Should be good. I have The Other Story by Tatiana de Rosnay, and she's the author of Sarah's Key, which I loved. So I now have 2 other books by her, which I haven't read yet, but I will be getting to them. And I believe I found this one at the Dollar Tree. Yay for the Dollar Tree. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm collecting these editions of Agatha Christie, so whenever I find them, I grab them. And this one is Sad Cypress, and it's a Hercule Poirot mystery. You know I can't say that. Hercule Poirot mystery. I have heard so much about Louise Penny on BookTube and finally listened to my first one, Still Life, this summer. And so when I found this one super cheap, $2 at a used bookstore, I picked it up, and it's How the Light Gets In, a Chief Inspector Gamache novel. Just a fun mystery set in the cozy town of Three Pines. The next one is The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough, and this is an epic novel. This is one of the books that was recommended to me for my BookTuber Recommends jar, and I didn't choose this one because of its length, but it was recommended to me by the Bedtime Book Club girls. They also recommended Looking for Alibrandi, which is the book that I ended up reading, but I'm excited when I found this because I was on hold for this in my library in Massachusetts for months, and it never came. I was surprised because it didn't look like anyone else was waiting for it. It just never came to me, so I don't know what happened there. But now I own a copy, so I will someday get to this because it was recommended to me by those Aussie girls, and it's an Australian novel, so I'm excited about that. Can you see the pile yet? Almost. The next one I was not going to read because I heard so many people who didn't end up liking this book, but then my friend Lindsay at Wandering Reader read it, and she really enjoyed it. So I thought I might give it a try for myself, especially when I found it very cheap at a thrift store. And that is The Girls by Emma Cline. I'm sure that you've heard of this one. It's about 6 or 7 months ago or so, it was all over BookTube. It didn't have the best reviews, I guess. Some people liked it though, so I guess I'll have to see where I fall. Then I have Stitching Snow, a fairy tale retelling about Snow White by R.C. Lewis. I love a good fairy tale retelling. I don't know if this is a good one, but I like them anyway. Oh, you can see the pile now. From the floor up to here. I'm going to see if I can keep going. Not that long ago, this book was all over BookTube, and it's Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. Picoult? She always makes me question my gut judgment in situations, so I'm going to get to that someday. My word. Where am I going to put all these books, guys? My shelves are pretty full already. Guess I need to buy another bookshelf. Next I have At the Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen. I heard April from Getting Hooga with it maybe recommend this book. This is the same author as Water for Elephants, and it has a gorgeous cover. If you can see, there's like a embossed shiny shimmery in there. Very pretty. These are gonna fall, holy moly. And I still have another stack. I'm resting my arm on it. So here's the one stack, here's the other stack. I'm more than halfway, right? I'm more than halfway. This last pile are books that I know nothing about, so I'm going to just go through them very quickly. I would love to hear from you on this last section, especially if you've heard of any of these books, if I should move any up on my TBR pile or not. So here we go, ready? Oh, I have heard of this author, K.A. Tucker. This is Burying Water. Dark, ominous, and sexy, compelling from beginning to end. This is a Christian fiction, Karen Whitmire. It's called No Other Will Do. So this is kind of interesting about a women's colony. This group of women get together and see if they can do life on their own, and one of them decides that they might need a man after all. It's gonna These next 3 I got in a yard sale that was fill a bag for $2, and so I just threw these 3 books in there. They're all by Tamara Lee, and they're all about something in Carolina. Leaving Carolina, Restless in Carolina, Nowhere, Carolina. I'm sure they will be nice, fluffy, light reads, which I love, in between some heavier things. I'm determined to do this pile. I'm gonna turn this a little so you can see it. Oh yeah. There we go, look at it. It's all the way up to here. Continuing on, The Year of the Gadfly by Jennifer Miller. I believe this is a YA fiction set in a boarding school. That's all I know. Oh, there they go. No. How do I stop it? I'm going to hold it with one hand. I'm going to keep one hand back there so I can hold it. I am determined. The Boy in the Suitcase. This is a World War II historical fiction. Lean Cabarol and Agnete Fries. Never heard anything about it, but you know I love World War II historical fiction. Jane Austen, Made Me Do It. A book of short stories. Some authors I know, like Alexandra Potter, that's actually the only one that I recognize, but these are short stories that have to do with Jane Austen. Guys, this is getting ridiculous. I've heard of this one before. The Aviator's Wife by Melanie Benjamin. This is set after World War I, before World War II. Let me know if you've read this. I've seen it around a little bit. Not so much on BookTube, more in stores. Is it taller than me? Not yet. Those Who Save Us by Jenna Blum. This is also a World War II historical fiction. I believe it's about orphans who get rescued, which I know I'm gonna love. Burnable Book by Bruce Halsinger. Have you guys heard of that one? Set in London in 1935. I just saw that on the back. Historical fiction. I love it. Oh, 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 don't go. I love the cover of this one. There Will Be Stars by Billy Coffey, author of The Curse of the Crow Hollow. Have you guys heard of that? Let me know, because I don't know much about any of these. I have 3 more. 3 more. Can this pile withstand 3 more? Look at its Leaning Tower of books. The End of Innocence by Allegra Jordan, a moving ode to a lost generation with lyrical prose and rich historical detail. Again, another historical fiction. This one I also found at the Dollar Tree. The Silver Donkey. This is another Ollie's buy, and it's a middle grade or children's book by Sonia Harnett. I like it has some pictures in there. Reminds me of books that I used to love when I was younger. 1 more. Can I do it? The last one is The Silent Gift by Michael Landon Jr. and Cindy Kelly. Michael Landon, wasn't that the father on Little House on the Prairie back in the day? So this is his son. He is the director of the Hallmark Channel movie Love Comes Softly, and he wrote a book about a mother and her son, and he has a special gift. I believe he is selective mute, but he does have a gift that causes some problems along the way. So there you have my pile. I'm just gonna show you. See if I can do this without them falling. Look at, it's taller than me, and it goes all the way to the floor next to me. Yikes. You know I'm not trying to hold those. They are swaying next to me. That is it for me today, guys. I would love to hear if you've read any, especially of the ones like From Here Up, any of those in particular, if you've heard of them or read them or know anything about them more than I do. Let me know down in the comments. I would love to chat with you down there. I have more videos coming your way soon, so I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, what am I gonna do? Let's take these apart little by little here. Oh, that's too big a handful. Oh man. Where am I gonna put all these books? I don't even know. What am I gonna start with? I should read one soon. All right, there we go. Pile safe. Bye.